Hi, Miss Catalina. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Lucas. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Do you know what we're doing today?
I may have a guess. What are we doing today?
What we're doing today is we're going to be understanding vaping. We're going to understand the health risks, devices, and the legal consequences.
I'm excited. Let's get started.
Let's get started. Do you know anything about vaping?
I know a little bit, but I'm sure I could learn a lot here.
All right. So the first question we have here is, what is a vape?
Tell me, Lucas, what is it?
Well, a vape is also known as an e-cigarette. It is a battery-powered electronic device designed to heat liquid, commonly known as e-liquid. E-liquid is turned into an aerosol or a vapor that is then inhaled by the user, which would be the person that's using it. And each liquid typically contains nicotine, flavoring, and various chemicals. The process of using these devices is to inhale the aerosol is known as vaping.
Oh, very cool. Nice to know.
It is, yeah. It's very interesting. These devices popped up about 12-ish years ago
Okay.
as an alternative to smoking traditional cigarettes.
Mm.
And as you guys may know, smoking traditional cigarettes is not very healthy.
Not at all.
So when these vapes first started coming out, they were marketed as a healthier option.
Hmm.
Now we know it's not a healthier option. In fact, there are studies that show that vaping is far more dangerous than traditional cigarettes using.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Do you know how vapes work?
I know a little bit, but do you think you could teach me some more?
Yeah, absolutely. So, vapes consist of an atomizer, and we'll get into what those look like in a later session. So then there's also the power source, which is the battery. Most of the time, vape batteries are consisted of lithium batteries, which unfortunately, lithium batteries are actually those batteries that aren't allowed on airplanes.
Oh.
Do you know why?
That's a crazy fact. Why?
Can you guess?
Is it because they explode?
It is because they explode. So these batteries, because they're lithium, have the potential of exploding, and they have exploded before. And we'll get into a little bit more on why that is in a later session. So then it has the container for the liquid, which can be a cartridge or a tank. Upon activation, the device heats the e-liquid, transforming it into an aerosol that is inhaled through the mouthpiece.
Very interesting.
So it's very easy to use. Unfortunately, a lot of young people find it, a lot easier to use than traditional cigarettes because they don't need the lighter, they don't have to have the smoke that comes out of the actual cigarette.
That's very true.
And it's like a one-time use. You can do it and then put it back in your pocket and forget about it, and then 10, 15 minutes later you can do it again and
Yep.
continue going all day. With a traditional cigarette, it's a one-and-done thing. You got to burn it all, or you got to put it out and put it back in,
That's very true. So, vapes contain nicotine, which, as we know, is an addictive chemical. So, it's found in traditional cigarettes, and even products labeled as nicotine-free may not be nicotine-free. Other harmful chemicals include vape aerosols, which include a complex mix of hazardous substances, not simply harmless water vapor. So, the exact composition varies by brand and product, but many chemicals present are known carcinogens and respiratory irritants.
Is vaping aerosol the same as cigarette smoke?
No, it is not.
She is in fact correct. So the difference between vaping aerosol and smoking cigarettes, the smoke that comes from it, is vape aerosol is a vapor. So when you're heating water on like the stove and it starts bubbling and you see the steam coming off of that pot, that's what vape aerosol is. It's a vapor. With smoking, however, it's a smoke.
Oh,
Now, the difference between that is the smoke burns your lungs, right? It gets the tar and whatnot into your lungs.
Right.
With vaping and the aerosol with vaping, since it is a vapor, once it gets into your body and it settles, it actually turns into an oil.
Oh, that's
And we'll
very
get
interesting.
into why it's
Hmm.
dangerous for that oil to be in
Yeah.
your lungs later. But yeah.
I love that. That's very interesting. Do you think you can touch on the carcinogenic chemicals in vapes?
Absolutely.
I love
So
that.
with just all the stuff that Miss Catalina just told us with all the harmful stuff, there is in fact more harmful stuff in vapes, if you can believe that.
Who would have known?
Who would have known? So these harmful chemicals are called carcinogenic. Sorry, it's very hard to pronounce those words. So the first one we have is formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is produced when the e-liquid ingredients like propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin are heated. So that exposure can irritate the eyes, it can irritate the nose, it can irritate the throat, and it is known as human carcinogens. The next one we have is acetaldehyde. which is another carcinogen found during the heating process. So a lot of these carcinogenic chemicals are found during the heating process itself. Then there's benzene, which is a volatile organic compound, or a VOC. You'll hear us talk about VOCs throughout the sessions, but for your guys' reference, VOC stands for the volatile organic compounds. Now those are found in car exhausts. Can you believe that?
I cannot believe that, honestly. Yeah. That's nasty.
Yeah, imagine, just going up to your car exhaust, a little pipe that comes out of the back of your car and just inhaling those fumes.
You would probably pass away.
You would probably, long-term use, I would say so, right?
Yeah.
But these are the same chemicals that we're ingesting when we use vapes. Let's see, then we have the tobacco-specific nitrosamines, which is the TCNAS. And that's a carcinogenic compound that's also detected in vape aerosols. So there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot that happens when the vape aerosol itself gets heated and it goes into your body.
Yeah, those are some pretty hazardous carcinogenic chemicals.
Do you want to talk about like the flavoring chemicals?
I would love to. So, when it comes to vaping and their flavoring, as we know, there is a variety of different kinds of flavors we can get, from vanilla to root beer to blue raspberry ice to watermelon. So flavoring chemicals are just added to make vaping more appealing, especially for our younger audiences, so youth ages 12 to 18. In most of these, especially our buttery flavorings that we see in vapes, like vanilla, root beer, butter flavor even, we see this chemical called diacetyl. So it's used to produce buttery and creamy flavors, but it is directly linked to popcorn lung. So this is bronchiolitis obliterans. Is that correct?
Bronchiolitis. I don't even know, guys, but it is popcorn lung.
It is popcorn lung. So this is just a rare and irreversible lung disease. This disease causes inflammation and scarring of the lungs, tiny air sacs, aka bronchiolitis, resulting in permanently narrowed airways and breathing difficulties. So this diacetyl has a really big effect on your lungs, as does vaping as a whole.
Awesome.
Love it. I think we should jump into our activity. So this is going to be...
Should I grab the table for us?
Yes, I think awesome. We should. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. So today we're going to do our activity for our part 1 of vaping. So what we will need is one piece of paper and some markers. So what we're going to do with our piece of paper here is we are going to fold it like a trifold. So we're going to fold it, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll show you after. Kind of like a little trifold. Awesome. So I have 3 flaps here. I have one that opens here, and I have one that opens this way. So I have 1, 2, and 3. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to draw the path that I am on vaping today. So right now, Miss Catalina does not vape at all. But if we were to ask Miss Catalina in high school this question, she vaped a lot. So we're going to follow Miss Catalina in high school. So my road's going to look kind of bumpy. It's going to be very swirly. I'm going to have rocks and bumps to simplify the hardships that I had with vaping in high school. So vaping is not something that's easy to get over. It's very easily addictive. So I'm just going to kind of show that on my map. I'm going to draw some trees. Maybe they have some stars and spikes, okay? So this is my first road. It's not straight and it's not perfect because at the time I still was a vapor. Alrighty. And moving on to our middle section. We are going to draw a bridge. So this is where the bridge to where we want to go within our vaping journey. So on top of my bridge, I'm going to put all the positive things that keep me from vaping. And on the bottom of my bridge, I'm going to put all the things that pressure me to vape, such as friends who vape, having easy access to vapes, maybe my parents vape, peer pressure. Do you have any others that you would add?
I would say trying to look cool, I would say probably social media influences. I would say the popularity amongst vaping itself.
I love it. Let me just write all those down. What do you think are some positive things that would keep us from vaping, Lucas?
Some positive things that would keep me personally from vaping is I want to keep a healthy relationship with my friends. I want to stay healthy in my own body. I would rather spend the money on other things. There's a lot of different reasons why I don't vape. Why do you not vape, Miss Catalina?
I choose not to vape just because, as one who teaches about vaping, I know all the harmful things that are in vapes. And I think just teaching by that, you can't teach and then not preach on your own time.
I like that.
Yes. But also just for my son, I think, if I vape, I show all my young friends also how to vape. So kind of just being that bigger role model and showing you guys how to not vape.
Being a leader.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right, so now we have our middle done, and it has our positives that keep us from vaping and our stuff that may lead us to vaping. And you guys can decorate that however you want. And then on my last panel, I'm going to put the path I want to be on my vaping journey. So if we're asking Miss Catalina in high school, she doesn't want to vape anymore. She wants to stop vaping. So her path is going to be clear as day. It is going to be straight. And it's going to have no bumps. It's going to have rainbows. It's going to have stars. It's going to have hearts. It's going to be the easiest path I've been on because I am choosing to live vape free. And that is our activity for our first lesson. Thank you, guys.